The doctor that gave the procedure to deliver the baby, he handed me the baby and he looked at me. He said, "Are you sure this baby's yours?" And I looked at the doctor. I looked at the doctor. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because this baby's white." I'm looking at him like, "What do you mean this baby's white?" This is a picture of Ileana when she was first born. And when the doctor made that comment.
After she got pregnant, a letter she sent them. Her ex that she was dealing with had contacted me on Facebook. He was basically saying like, "Yo, Bryant, Jasmine, does she have you on child support and stuff like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she does. She's been having me on child support." He was like, "Well, that's crazy because I'm taking care of her too." So it's like...
This case kicks off like a soap opera with yelling under the surface. Mr. Portis says he's not the dad, and child support is ruining his life. Ms. Middlebrooks is like, "Yes, you are," and court gets messy fast.
Mr. Portis, you and your mother have petitioned the court for a DNA test because you are certain you are not the father of the defendant's daughter, Ava.
Correct.
You say your life has been ruined and need today's paternity results to set the record straight.
DNA tests. No one showed up when they were supposed to. Portis missed court, so boom, he's stuck paying. Jasmine missed too, and now everyone's confused.
Don't you have to get a DNA before you can be put on child support?
We went
You
together.
didn't show up to court twice.
It was once.
You paying child support for this baby?
Yes.
Yes.
Thousands of dollars.
But you say you've never had a DNA test?
No.
And that's because you had a court date,
And he missed.
so you were named
And
the
they
father by
established
default.
paternity. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it works.
True.
Portis says they weren't together when she got pregnant. Jasmine says they were still a thing. Then Facebook exposed a secret boyfriend. Oops.
But when she got pregnant, we stopped talking. We weren't talking at the time that she got pregnant. Like, she had hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm pregnant and be prepared
so wait,
for child
we
support
were definitely
and all this
together.
other
We were
stuff."
definitely together.
No,
Our text.
no, we weren't, because I found out that she had another boyfriend. Because I looked on her Facebook and I seen her with this dude. And I'm like, "Who is this?" And then she like, "Somebody I used to talk to."
Jasmine wrote a letter to her ex after getting pregnant. She says it was just friendly. Portis isn't buying it. Judge Lake gives them both the serious look.
After she got pregnant, a letter she sent them.
Wait a minute.
I sent the guy a letter telling him that I was pregnant, letting him know what was going on.
This is exactly why young people don't have no business making babies. You can't even tell the story to make no sense. Miss Middlebrooks, what was your relationship with this other guy?
We were dating.
Portis's mom jumps in and the yelling begins. Everyone's shouting like it's a family BBQ gone wrong. Judge Lake has to shut it all down.
They're a relationship. I mean, when were they?
Did I have
y'all in a
intercourse with you?
relationship?
Were I with you? No, I didn't think so. Wasn't nobody
Honor.
talking to you.
As a
So,
grown woman,
I don't
Hold
care.
on,
stop
ladies.
disrespecting my mom.
Ladies. Mr. Portis, tell me how you found out Miss Middlebrooks was pregnant.
She had told me.
What was your response?
I didn't really believe her at first.
Jasmine's ex messaged Portis on Facebook. Turns out he's been helping out too. Now Portis is like, "What am I even paying for?"
Her ex that she was dealing with had contacted me on Facebook. He was basically saying like, "Yo, Bryant, Jasmine, does she have you on child support and stuff like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she does. She's been having me on child support." He was like, "Well, that's crazy because I'm taking care of her too." So it's like, just like an imbalance
Okay.
here.
Even Jasmine's aunt says she first said the ex was the dad. Jasmine says that's not true. Portis remembers her telling him to leave. This is a whole mess.
yes.
Who did she tell you the father was?
At the time, the only person I knew was the ex.
Who did she say the father was?
She said the ex.
I already
That's
knew
my
that.
son.
I said the ex.
But I thought it was my
Fine.
son all
No,
along.
hold on.
Now you-
I could tell by the way you were telling that story that you were trying to be evasive about something.
But
Jasmine says Portis is all over the place. He didn't know missing court made him the legal dad. Judge Lake gives a quick law lesson.
That came later on down the line when she was 1. So
You
they
did
found
the
out
child
much.
support a year later.
Yeah, they found out much before that he was the dad.
At some point, you came clean.
Yes, not even long after that.
So did you let your ex raise the baby? Ava's too. Is he like he was at the hospital? You let him raise her?
Yes.
Portis has only seen his kid 4 times. His mom hasn't seen her at all. The judge says, "Y'all need to fix this."
So this child you've been paying child support for.
Only seen her 4 times in my life.
And I've never seen the baby. But I'm supposed to step up and be a grandmother.
I didn't ask you to step up. I want Brian to
You
do the DNA
you
test.
you messaged my phone talking about
What
well,
do
you're
I need
some
you
type
to
of
step
grandma
up
and
for?
this and that
What
and
do
the
I
other.
need? Yes,
How can I
because
be a
you're not
grandmother
encouraging
to
him
a
to get the
baby I've
DNA
never
test
even-
done.
I did.
Not continue to.
You backed out.
I did.
You
This
encouraged
is
him.
my
You
son.
backed out.
Even if Portis isn't the real dad, he still has to pay. It's too late to fight it. He says he's learning the hard way.
There's still a very real possibility you're Ava's father.
Yes.
And if you're not, you may not be able to get yourself off child support. Because
would
you
take-
all may have waited too long. And the court will follow what is in the
right.
best interest of the child. Sometimes we have to learn lessons the hard way.
You're right, Your Honor.
Judge opens the envelope with everyone holding their breath. Surprise.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Portis, you are the father.
Starts off like a Lego to the foot, pure pain. Mr. Pace is crying over Prince, thinking he's the dad. Plot twist. His girl may be hooked up with his best bud.
Mr. Pace, you say you will be crushed today if DNA results reveal you are not biological father of your son. You maintain that the defendant betrayed you by cheating with Prince's second possible father, your best friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
They met because of short shorts and fast moves. She moves in with him and his BFF, then finds out she's pregnant. Mr. Pace thinks he's the dad, and they move out together.
Well, we met while I was actually driving. It was a hot day. She had on short shorts. I'm a leg man.
Okay.
I had a conversation. I ended up getting her phone number. We went out on a few dates. We kind of bonded real quick. She ended up moving in with me and Mr. Randolph. Shortly after her moving in, she became pregnant.
Drama time. She felt lonely, had one drunk night, and oops, ended up with Mr. Randolph. Says it was a one-time thing. But guess how Mr. Pace found out?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a love triangle because the situation with me and Randolph only happened once. Upon me being in the house with Byron, the thing is, he works at night. I kind of took that as a feeling of neglect. The situation with me and Randolph was a mistake I think I ever made because I've never intentionally set out to hurt Byron.
Big fight, she drops the baby bomb. Maybe your best friend's the dad. Randolph confirms it. Mr. Pace keeps cool and asks for a DNA test.
We were actually in a heated argument at the time that it occurred, but it kind of just got blurted out to me that Mr. Randolph could be a potential father for Prince.
And just out of the blue, she yells, and by the way, your best friend could be Prince's father?
Correct.
Randolph's excuse? Drunk and dumb. Doesn't even know if protection was used. Mr. Pace is left dealing with hot garbage nachos level of nonsense.
I wasn't in the right state of mind. We both was intoxicated. He was out promoting clubs. She used to come home from the club intoxicated, looking for him. He's not there. Me and her talk.
And so was this sex unprotected?
Honestly, Your Honor, I was intoxicated and I really don't recall.
Now it's the whose nose is it games. Miss Fobbs kept the secret for years, scared to tell. Heavy stuff, but Mr. Pace has always been the dad figure.
Yeah, he looks like Byron more than he looks like Randolph.
Yeah, I see my nose a little as well as maybe my upper lip a tad bit. The nose kind of flares out like mine.
Was it a secret you were holding and during the argument you just had to let it out?
Yeah.
Mr. Pace feels torn seeing them both daily. Miss Fobbs wants to fix everything and stay a family. She's hoping love wins over betrayal.
Well, it's been difficult. I love her, but it's just been difficult when you're caught between two people that you care about. But you still have doubts. Like I say, I see this man on a daily basis as well as I see her on a daily basis. So when you have a small thought in the back of your head that this may have occurred and you don't have the initial proof to find out that it's not true.
Boom, DNA test says.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Pace, you are not his father.
This whole thing started like a cartoon fight with big drama. Mr. Kidd says he got tricked into being a dad, and Ms. Rawlings says nope, he can't even have babies. And just like that, we're off to the races.
You say Ms. Rawlings is a manipulative user who convinced you that you were the father of her son, Nathaniel, then changed her mind when someone better came along. You and your mother say Ms. Rawlings' mind games have wreaked emotional havoc on your family, and you are 100% positive you are her son's father.
This love story is more like a messy sandwich. She was with Kidd, then another guy, back and forth like a seesaw. Sounds like a baby mystery was already cooking.
How it happened was we met through a mutual friend. I didn't know anything about Mr. Kidd. Starting off, my mutual friend ended up leaving, and the situation that I was in, I didn't have anywhere to go. Everything progressed and everything started off. Somehow another female came into the picture, and I went off and did my own thing and was dealing with him and another gentleman also.
Now we're talking about blood and science and maybe magic. She says Kidd told her a baby with him would be danger zone, but his mom says that's not how blood works.
When I found out I was pregnant, Mr. Kidd told me himself that he had some type of rare form blood disease and that me and his child would die if I was pregnant by him.
It's not a rare blood disease. I am ARH negative and he is ARH negative. If she's RH positive and doesn't get the necessity shot during the pregnancy, it could prevent her from having future children or that child could pass away.
Grandma saw a baby pic and went full detective mode. She was like, that's my baby, even though it wasn't hers yet. Then she met him and fell in love instantly.
I got a phone call from my daughter, and she said, Mom, you need to look at this picture. She sent me a picture of the baby. I was like, who got my son's baby pictures? She said, that's not your son. I said, yes, that is. I gave birth to him. I know who he is. So I contacted his friend who gave me Miss Rawlings' number. I called her and asked, we talked for a couple weeks, and I asked if I could see the baby, and she said yes.
They pulled out old pics like it was a baby twin contest. Grandma swore he had her lips, and everyone laughed. The judge was like, this is getting good.
And when you look at these pictures, what do you see?
My son.
Your son on the left, and that's Nathaniel on the right. And you really believe, as you look at those pictures, that's your grandson. And as we take a look at the second picture, kid is a teen, and Nathaniel.
Oh, he has my lips.
You think they look exactly alike, minus your lips, those are your lips.
He's got my lips.
Even if she thought kid wasn't the dad, she let his mom visit. She wanted the baby to have family love. That made the courtroom all soft and mushy.
Me being me as a mother, and I wasn't able to grow up with my father. If Mr. Kid can't see the moments that he's missing, at least his mom will be able to have them, and his family has some choice.
Here at the defendant podium, you say you know Mr. Kid is not your child's biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Grandma says she was never told no, you're not grandma. They shared baby pics and stories like a real fam. But now the other guy is sneaking into the story.
I've never one time been told I wasn't the grandmother. She did not ever say. She said it's a possibility between this one guy and my son. And as I sent her picture, she's like, yes, I believe it's Kevin's.
Did the other guy, the other potential father, did he ever acknowledge that he could be the father or express interest in being in Nathaniel's life?
Yes, he did, because he was the one that actually told me to get a test.
The other dude showed up at the hospital like it was his baby. His whole family thought so too, but no one signed the baby papers.
The other guy actually came to the hospital after I gave birth to Nathaniel, and they instantly, you seen it in his face and in Nathaniel's face, his face.
The other guy?
Yes, because he.
Did he sign the birth certificate?
No, because I didn't have my ID with me at the time.
So there's no one listed as father on Nathaniel's birth certificate?
No, you're not.
Grandma got baby duty for a whole month. Mom wrote a note like, here, you watch him, I gotta work. Judge read it like it was from a movie.
She gave me the baby for a period of time with a
How long?
I had him for a month and a couple days. I got a handwritten letter of custody.
Because of the fact that I had got a job that was paying $10 an hour, and I didn't have anybody to watch him. At the same time, trying to figure out who's going to watch my child and me not.
A real doctor came in to clear up the baby-making mystery. She said kid might have had a sick thing as a kid, but it doesn't mean he can't be a dad. Boom, science drop.
So I think there's two separate issues here. There was an issue about Rh blood incompatibility.
Yes.
And that has to do with a mother and a baby. And if there's different blood types between the father of the baby, positive and negative. He had a separate issue, which was a childhood infection, repeated urinary tract infections to STIs like gonorrhea and chlamydia. Those can cause inflammation in the testicles.
Judge read the test and boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kidd, you are the father.
This whole thing kicks off wild. Judge says it's Beto v. Bolton, and Ms. Beto's mad over a DNA test. She says it ruined everything, and we just getting started.
Ms. Beto, you say you were furious when the defendant asked you for a DNA test on your 7-month-old daughter, Ileana. Now you claim that request has broken up your happy home.
Bolton been here before and found out he wasn't the dad. He was hurt, but moved on. Now here again. Baby drama seems to follow this guy.
Mr. Bolton, you are not his father. Mr. Bolton, so what has happened since you were last here?
Since last time I was in court, I was very devastated to find out the news about the young boy not being mine. When the baby was born, I cut the umbilical cord, the doctors wiped the baby off, and they gave Miss Beto the baby.
Doctor handed him the baby and said, "You sure this one's yours?" Like, bruh. What? Bolton been shook ever since.
The doctor that gave the procedure to deliver the baby, he handed me the baby and he looked at me. He said, "Are you sure this baby's yours?" And I looked at the doctor. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because this baby's white." I'm looking at him like, "What do you mean this baby's white?" This is a picture of Ileana when she was first born. And when the doctor made that comment,
she said her family got all types of skin and eye colors. Basically, don't judge the baby by her shade. But Bolton still got questioned.
We're mixed.
I'm Dominican and black. People in my family have different color eyes. My eyes are hazel. My father's eyes are green. He told me that when he was a young boy, when he was a baby, as a matter of fact, his eyes were blue and then they turned green because people continuously said, oh, she's white. Oh my God, she's so white.
When the doctor asks you,
Look,
before congratulations,
People keep saying, she too light to be yours. Even the boss and grocery folks asked him. The man's whole life turned into a guessing game.
Your Honor, maybe 2 weeks when Ileana came home, the same boss that we both work for him, he came to the house and brought a stroller to the home as a gift. And he's from Alabama, he's country guy, But he looked at the baby, and he's like, Rico, this baby yours? I look at him like, what you mean? He says, this baby's white.
Beto says yeah, she slept with someone else, but it was after Bolton cheated first. Still, now things messy.
have you slept with anybody else?
We actually broke up last year around August, and it was due to infidelity on his behalf.
Before, I got a couple buddies I hang out with. They do things on the side.
Your Honor,
Now,
I saw
my
the texts
association
from the
being with that
females.
point, well, I should cheat just to make you happy. Because this is what you're doing. You
That
putting
was
pressure
your
on me.
logic?
They tried getting back together, but then, bam, text from the other guy. Plus baby pics that looked a little too familiar. Bolton's radar going off.
When she came back together, we got together. We moved back in the same house together. But in the midst of this, she's still going out there to her family's house. Middle of the night, I pick up the phone. Text messages from this guy. So I have reason to believe, like, okay, you tell me you stopped messing with him. I still think that you're still with him.
He saw text messages
even-
from the guy. He never saw me respond.
He shows pics like he's on a baby detective show. Says both babies look like twins. Everybody's confused now.
His daughter looks like my daughter.
But how often is it that babies can look alike?
I just want to show you this evidence right here.
But I don't think she looks like the other man's baby.
Okay, that's Ileana, and that's me. Ileana's pink, Caucasian, white, and you see me.
Really?
I'm brown, no blue eye. The only thing I see is a nose.
If he felt like that, Your Honor, why stay for 7 months?
He's like, no baby in 5 years, then boom. Baby right after breakup? The math ain't mathing for him. Dude is suspicious.
When she left, her and this other guy was messing around. When she came back around, we was living together. I feel like, maybe she's still been messing with this guy. Because all of a sudden, like she said, we've been together 5 years. It's the first time she ever got pregnant. She's coming back around, boom, baby. Like, what's going on?
They play a cute baby video. He looks like a proud papa, but doubt's still creeping in.
You even submitted a video. It really shows how committed he is to her.
Say hello. Bye-bye. See y'all later. I love Ileana.
Judge drops the truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Bolton, you are her father.
But what I tell you,
This whole thing starts off super deep, like sad right away. Ms. Walker wants to know if her son's baby is really her grandson. She's got love to give, but needs the truth first.
Ms. Walker, you say before your son Delante's tragic death, he had doubts that he had fathered the defendant's 1-year-old son, Delante Royal. You claim you need today's DNA results so you can embrace this child as your grandson.
Here's where the drama drops. Text messages from another guy. Delante saw them and got real suspicious. That's when he started doubting the baby was his.
He seen text messages between her and the guy around the time when she conceived. He had doubts. One morning, I overhear them arguing. They got the puppy love going on. I hear them arguing. I didn't think nothing of it. So it got louder than usual. So I go in there, I'm like, what's going on? Mom, she's H, she's this, she's that. 3 months pregnant at this time.
At first, everybody was happy like it was a baby party. They even called the mom Ladybug, which is kind of cute. Nobody expected drama was coming soon.
the moment we found out we was pregnant, he told me before that I was pregnant even before. We got to the place, he was excited, she was excited.
When they told me, my son came to me, he said, Mom, what if I tell you that I got a baby on the way? With who? Ladybug. I'm like, okay. So I immediately get on the phone with her. Oh, we're gonna go take a test today. We went and took the test, came back positive. We all were happy.
Delante said he was cool about the baby, then secretly told his mom he wasn't sure. He didn't want to ruin the mood at the hospital, but inside, he still needed answers.
The day of the birth, we're all in there, we're all happy. It was her, kissed the baby on the forehead and everything. She asked him, she said, Delante, do you wanna, when she asked him, did he want a DNA test? He looked around, seen her family members, he told her, but then later on that day, he looked at me and Mom said yes. I need a DNA test.
Oh.
Turns out he didn't sign the papers because he didn't have his ID, but his mom thinks he just didn't want to. So now we're all like, what's really up?
Why he didn't sign a birth certificate, Your Honor?
He didn't sign it because he didn't have his ID. When we kept telling him he was being irresponsible, that was not my fault. He even got his dad's first name and middle name. Would have gave him his last name, but he did not have that ID. So that was not my fault. I believe it.
You just thought he was being irresponsible,
Yes.
and he just forgot it. It was so much going on.
Yes.
3 weeks later, Delonte passed away. Ms. Walker held on tight to the baby and mom, but that old doubt didn't go away.
So how soon after baby Delonte was born did your son unfortunately pass away?
3 weeks.
Oh.
I drone to him and Ladybug, because that's all I had left, you know. He was my oldest child, you know, but he was still my baby. So I needed that comfort.
Even with love in her heart, Ms. Walker couldn't shake the doubt. She started remembering all the stuff her son said. Ms. Royal was like, no way, he loved that baby.
I think time, me dealing with my son's death, and then me remembering his doubt. Because I blocked it out, you know, because I was dealing with my son's death. The doubt came back.
When she said they had doubts, I never knew. Like, cause, you know, I kept asking for the DNA test. I had no problem with me. He always say, my boy, my boy.
Boom, DNA test says.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Monique Walker and Delonte Royal is 99.99%. You are related.
This case starts like a mess from the jump. Ms. Nesbitt says Mr. Henderson is the dad, but he's like, nah, probably the neighbors. And boom, the baby drama begins.
You are suing to prove to Mr. Henderson that he is the father of your 7-month-old daughter, Zion. Say that when the results prove you right, you expect Mr. Henderson to step up. Mr. Henderson, you claim your case is simple. You say Ms. Nesbitt cheated on you with her neighbor during the window of conception, and he is Zion's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Dude signed the birth certificate without her knowing. She told him not to, but he snuck down like a secret spy and did it anyway. Now he's all confused about being the dad.
You know that's your child. You've been knowing from the beginning. You signed the birth certificate. You know the baby yours.
Yes, I did because
He did what? I went downstairs to go get my birth certificate and his name was on there. I told him not to put his name on there because I had doubts from the beginning, but he snuck anyways and signed his name on there.
You had asked him previously not to sign it because you had doubts yourself.
Judge Lake's like, bro, you signed it. You're the dad. Mr. Henderson acts like it was just a maybe sign, but this ain't Netflix. It's real life.
When you sign a birth certificate at a hospital, you are acknowledging paternity legally. So when you signed your name, you said, I'm the father, I'm responsible, I'm gonna take care of this child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why are you not taking care of the child and only bought some diapers?
She talking about the baby's not mine, Your Honor. I can't be no man that's taking care of another man's baby.
She got mad and yelled the baby might be the neighbor's. He looked shocked, but wait, there's more crazy coming.
Because she kept coming to me like, this not your baby, LaDon. Like, I came in the house one night drunk because I came in late, but I come in, she get the argument, oh, she's not yours, that's why she's not your baby. She could be Mr. Brown.
Did you say that?
Yes, Your Honor. I did it out of angry. I was really angry when I said it.
She said it several times, Your Honor. Several times.
She says he slept with his cousin and now she's hurt. He goes, that was before you. Like, that helps. This whole thing's wild.
He had sex with his cousin, and I felt very vulnerable about it.
Yes, I did, but that was before her. She already knew about that.
You know, I received the inbox telling me she said that she had sex with my little black car and they had a baby. And I felt very astounded about it. So, I felt...
She told you before that when you were sitting in the car with your friend.
You got her
Yes,
pregnant.
it is. It's true, Your Honor.
She got in a fight with Mr. Henderson, and the neighbor slid in to give her a massage. That massage turned into a whole situation. She got in a fight with Mr. Henderson, and the neighbor slid in to give her a massage. That massage turned into a whole situation. 2 weeks later, baby on the way.
Well, me and Mr. Henderson, we got into an argument, and it led in my apartment hallway, and Mr. Brown seen, so he came to my door, he comforted me, and it led off to him coming in, giving me a massage, and led off to me, yes, one night, and 2 weeks later, I ended up pregnant, and I told Mr. Henderson.
She also say I had slept with Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, she did?
She told me she used the condom, Your Honor.
Neighbor Mr. Brown shows up like, yeah, we did it once. He says they kept texting using fake names like Nancy. This just keeps getting messier.
I first met her, she had moved to my apartment, been a couple doors down. I used to always flirt with her, to blink an eye at her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was a cute girl, you know?
But you did have a sexual encounter with her.
Yeah, one time.
It was just like birthday sex, that was about it.
It wasn't more that she used to always hit me up and text me and all that stuff. I used to for names like
It was
this
just
Tracy,
one time.
Nancy.
Your Honor, she's telling me that it if it was more than one.
He says they used protection, but maybe it busted. Then he's like, she said the baby's not mine. Sir, pick a story.
You only had sex the one time?
Just that one night on her birthday when her and him
And the
got into
protection
it.
broke?
I don't remember protection broke. I was buzzing a little bit, but I don't remember no protection broke. You know what I'm saying? Reminds you, I just came to the comfort that one night because them two had got into it, so I had went down there comfort one night, gave her a little massage places, and you know what happened after that.
Now all of them are just yelling and bringing up Facebook posts. Nobody knows anything for sure. Judge Lake got to clean this mess up.
And then when they get into it, you know what I'm saying, she write little things on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, and then when I hit her up, as soon as I get on the phone with her, I'll see her put something on Facebook and it be about me.
So you think she's trying to maintain contact with you, stay close to you because there's a potential you may be the child's father?
Face it, Dad, you are the father. He looks just like
I'm not about to step up to the plate if you keep telling me it's Mr. Brown's child.
Big moment.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are not her father.
Oh!
Mr. Rasmussen said she denied he was the father out of hate, not truth. He drove 160 miles every other weekend just to see his daughter. Felt like I could see that distance in his face.
The real reason Ms. Miller is denying you're Zaylee's father is because she hates you. You say you've been there for your daughter her entire life, and you're here today to prove you are Zaylee's father. You're not Zaylee's father.
Your Honor, I believe it's just out of pure hatred. She just doesn't want me to have visitation. Drive 160 miles every other weekend just to pick up my daughter and drop her off.
He showed payment records, explaining how even with extra fees, he still bought her clothes. He said Zaylee wore the same shirt every visit. That detail stuck with me more than I thought it would.
I have my child support payments right here, plus an additional $3 fee, plus an additional $60 annual fee just to pay my child support. Plus that $3 with every check, plus another $60 every year to the state.
And that's not very much to get what she needs.
Is it enough to buy her clothes so she doesn't have to wear cut-off sweatpants and the same t-shirt every time I pick her up?
Ms. Miller said she was with another man during the month Zaylee was conceived. She said Rasmussen was in another state at the time. I didn't know who to believe after hearing that.
She was conceived in March of 2011. He wasn't even in the same state. He was in Vegas. At that time in March, I wasn't even with him. I was with somebody else because he broke up with me because he cheated on me.
I'll be the first to admit it was a mistake.
He said he got the call at work, then rushed home and jumped in his car. The snow was deep, but he drove fast and reached the hospital before anyone else. A story like that pulled something in me.
Zaylee was born, you were at a doctor's appointment, I was at home because I had to work that day. I was at my job as a cashier. I got a phone call and I answered it. They said she was going into labor. I went home, quickly changed my clothes, and I drove about 45 miles in Wisconsin in December, mind you, so it was about a foot of snow on the ground. I made it to that hospital in less than 35 minutes. I beat her to the hospital.
Rasmussen showed a photo of himself at age 3 next to Zaylee's. He pointed out their chins and matching dimples. I really hoped someone else in that room saw the resemblance too.
She looks exactly like I did when I was 3 years old. I have a picture of me when I was 3 and a picture of her from just the other. Believe it or not, when I was 3 years old, I had blonde hair.
And you say you see a distinct similarity.
Yes, I do.
Do you see it, Ms. Miller? You don't.
I don't.
You feel like Zaylee looks like the other gentleman you were intimate with.
The judge read the results slowly. Mr. Rasmussen was...
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. Miss Miller.
He cried in court, saying Zaylee was his reason for everything. His words were soft, but the pain behind them was loud. I couldn't stop thinking about the way his hands shook.
I am so sorry. I know this hurt you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't know what I'm gonna do. She's my whole world. Everything I do is for her. She was the reason I went to work every day.
I know you have a bond with her.
I feel like my whole world is in ruins now.
Judge Lake told Ms. Miller that Zaylee deserved to know the truth. She said this story would one day shape her whole life. That warning hit me deeper than I expected.
Your child deserves to know who her father is. Whether or not that man wants to be in her life, physically present and participate. He does have a legal obligation. She'll one day ask, where's my father? Every action you take from this point will write the story that you will later have to tell. I wish you the best of luck. We have counseling for you. Court is adjourned.
Ms. McBirth stood up with fire in her eyes and started throwing insults like knives. She called the child's mother trash, trouble, and a trifler without blinking. I felt the air in the room turn heavy.
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. She, as a matter of fact, I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son or any member of my family. at all. Can I show it? Can I?
Absolutely, ma'am. What did you bring?
She pulled out a photo like it was evidence of a crime and held it high. She said the baby was white as snow and could never be her grandchild. I couldn't move after hearing that.
A photo of your son and the child in question?
Right.
And you say the child looks nothing like your son?
That baby white as snow. There's no way that could be my grandchild or my son's baby. He has no features like none of us. Nobody in my family look like that.
And just by looking at this child, you've determined and said to yourself, I do not believe that's my grandchild.
That can't happen. There's no way.
She yelled that she was tired of women dropping off babies like they were packages. Her voice was loud, full of years of pain and stress. It made my chest feel tight just watching her.
I'm sick of all these little hookers trying to say my son is the daddy. I'm sick of it. I get babies dropped off here, dropped off there. I'm sick of it.
But
it stops today. Because that baby is not my son.
Here's the thing that she does.
It is, sorry.
That's a lie.
No,
that's
it's
a lie.
not. Well, she's a liar because you just had a wildfire that got shut down by the police station last week.
Hello.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
The judge showed a sweet photo of the father kissing the baby on the cheek. Ms. McBirth looked at it and shouted that it made her want to throw up. I didn't know what to think.
Like your son is kissing the baby. It makes you want to throw
It makes me
up.
want to throw up. Because it's a
Why?
lie.
For your son to be kissing an innocent child?
Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really. If he's showing the child love,
It's not his.
your brother is sleeping with her and not using protection. Couldn't he possibly be Elijah's father?
You know
No,
what?
not in this case.
Like the
no,
old saying goes,
no.
mama's baby's papa's maybe.
Mr. Hughes admitted he heard the baby call other men daddy more than once. His voice was low and his eyes looked full of doubt. It left me frozen in place.
Mr. Hughes, have you ever heard Elijah call somebody else
A
daddy?
few times. She was with, just like the last guy she was with, I heard him call him daddy. He's nowhere near my complexion. He looks 30 for real.
Tell the truth, son. Tell the truth.
She throws a lot of doubts in the situation, you know what I'm saying? I know she was with another biracial dude before she was with me.
Like
so.
3 months before, and I was 5 weeks pregnant when we found out I was pregnant.
Yeah, you get around, don't you?
When the judge said Mr. Hughes is
Pertaining to 2-year-old Elijah Jackson, and whether Mr. Hughes is the father, Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
The judge said one day the child will ask why his family didn't want him. She warned they would regret this moment for the rest of their lives. It made me want to cry.
It's Mr. Hughes' son. And everything you're saying right now, believe me, you will regret.
I hope I do.
No.
I hope I do.
You will.
Never had.
You will. You will.
Never had.
It's not becoming and it's not necessary.
You're right.
The baby didn't
You don't
walk
know the-
into this world on his
Right.
own, talking about people's bridge, no bridge, hair, no hair.
Alicia froze when she heard Ken, the man who raised her, might not be her real father. Her mother confessed she had been with multiple men when Alicia was conceived. Could anyone stay calm after hearing something like that?
Miss Ferguson, you've brought your mother to court today because you were recently shocked to learn that Ken Ferguson, who raised you your entire life, may not be your biological father. You have petitioned the court for a paternity test on Mr. Ferguson, whom we'll hear from in a moment.
Tears filled Alicia's eyes as she explained how her mom ignored her and her sister. She said they were only needed when their mother had no one else. Felt like someone punched me in the chest just hearing it.
My mom goes through crazy moments and acts like her family never is there for her. Acts like her 2 daughters are never the only ones that just want her attention and to talk to her and be there for her. So she was treating us like crap. She was acting like we never are there for her. She wouldn't talk to us. She would only talk to her guy friends and her other friends, and not even the husband.
Diana stood up and walked out after being called out for always running from the truth. Her daughter begged her to stay and talk, but she was already gone. Watching that happen made my stomach twist.
Do you understand why I think he could not be my father?
No,
you
I
know
don't.
what I
knowing
put you
that
through?
I don't even know who my own dad is. Okay, there. Let's put that out there.
Pull on the...
I understand.
Oh, you just always make people feel bad for you, doesn't she? She just always does that.
You know what?
She's about to
But
do...
Miss
no,
Munsell-
No, no. See, this is what you do. You always walk
Yeah.
away. You never can talk
Shut
to
up.
me.
Alicia admitted she cheated in every relationship because she thought it was normal. She said her mom's behavior taught her love meant lies and betrayal. That confession hit me harder than I ever expected.
I thought cheating was okay. I cheated on every person I was with until today. And the person I'm with today can't stand my mom. She thinks I'm gonna, yes, I am gay, by the way. I came out to my mom. That's the only thing she accepted me with.
And she did support you.
That's the only thing she's ever supported me with.
Ken revealed he doubted Alicia's father from the beginning. He saw strange cars at their home and heard rumors about Diana being with other men. My heart sank listening to the pain in his voice.
Within like 2 weeks, my sister started calling me saying, hey, there's cars
down at the house like every other day. There'd be a guy or two guys and a lot of guys before she got pregnant while we lived together. Crushed me to know that she cheated on me because she was the only one that I slept with, you know, and married her. Now to find out that she slept with other guys before we was married, it's just...
Diana returned to court but offered no apology, only anger. She told Alicia there was nothing left to fix between them. Honestly, I didn't know whether to cry or scream at that moment.
I'm not a perfect mom. I never tried to be. I never, I did what I could do.
So,
but I love you, and I never once regretted having you.
So, Ms. Munsell,
But that's all that I came here for, was for you to find out.
we wanted to repair our relationship, and you said you did. You've always wanted to repair our relationship.
Yeah,
Why are you
I
gonna
did
act
it until
like
you
that?
stand there and degrade me like you have been.
Now it's time for the results.
Mr. Ferguson, you are her father.
The judge said Diana walked away because she couldn't face what she had done. She begged Alicia to leave the door open for forgiveness. Hearing that, I found myself hoping they'd get a second chance.
She keeps walking out those doors because she doesn't want to face the truth. Because facing the truth means she has owned and recognized not just what she's done to herself, but what she's done to you. I don't want you to give up on your mom just yet. Maybe you can begin to forgive her for those mistakes she's made, and I'm hoping she'll begin to forgive herself.
Ms. Hooker says she's tired of caring what people think of her baby. She feels like everyone looks at her like she doesn't belong, like she's something dirty. Honestly, it made my chest tighten.
How have you been affected by Ms. Baker's doubts about Kania's paternity?
I'm just sad sometimes. I try to deal with it now. Like, I really don't care no more. That's how I feel. I don't care anymore. I don't care who feel nothing about my baby. I don't care. It just seemed like everybody else looking upside my head like I'm an animal or something. Like, every time I'm sitting down doing something, they looking at me like I'm just outcast of the group. She looked like me, so why is a problem? That's why I just say I don't care about nothing.
Her mother speaks up and defends her daughter with fire in her voice. She says the real hurt came from the family, not Ms. Baker. Felt like the air in the room got heavy.
It's not that she don't care. Her feelings been hurt, so she hold her guard up. It's not Miss Baker who denies Kenia. It's her family who makes my daughter. She was too fat to be his baby. She fat like them, and nothing to say about my grandbaby. My daughter's feelings have been hurt. It's always talk about her like she this tramp, and I'm like, enough.
Ms. Baker reveals her son was shot and died only days after the baby was born. The room falls into silence as the weight of it sinks in. That part hit harder than expected.
May I ask what happened to Keyshawn?
He was shot on a Sunday and he died that Friday.
I'm so very sorry.
He just told me to promise him that.
She swears to add her baby's name to the obituary if the test proves it's Keyshawn's. Her voice shakes but stands tall. That promise stayed with me long after.
I have already told them if it comes back saying Kenia belongs to Keyshawn, I'm going directly back to the funeral home and get a set of obituaries made. So when this baby grow up and she read her dad's obituary, there's her name.
The judge announces the results.
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Baker, Mr. Abraham, and Kenia Abraham is 0%.
And this is why right here.
Ms. Baker.
Hooker screams, storms out, heartbroken and shaking. Her voice echoes as she disappears. That sound still plays in my head.
Because you know you slapped somebody else.
Miss Hooker. Miss Hooker. No.
Hey, go in there. Go in there. Go in there. You do too much. I don't care because you always need it.
Jason stood frozen as he heard the worst news imaginable. His best friend and his own brother had both slept with the woman he loved. He remembered it clearly, right as he was moving their last box. That hit me like a brick to the chest.
Best friend at the time pulled me aside and told me him and my brother had both slept with me.
What?
I was hurt.
They both.
Your
Both.
Honor, he
They both
cheated in
slept.
the very beginning of our relationship. It was even
No.
before we were months. Yes, it is true. I do admit that I did do those. I did cheat on him with his best friend and his brother.
She admitted the truth without blinking. She had been with the brother too, saying Jason didn't give her love or attention. She said it felt like she didn't matter to him anymore. Can't believe she said it like it was nothing.
But you slept with my brother too.
Yes.
You slept with my best friend and my brother.
His brother, I was really young at the time. And
You keep talking about how young you were. If you were so young, you shouldn't sleeping with everybody.
Okay.
How did you end up sleeping with his brother?
It was an attraction. He was paying me the attention that Jason was not.
Even while pregnant, she found comfort in another man who treated her better. She said she slept with him, even though she was still with Jason, and kept it secret. The way she said it made my stomach twist.
When I found out I was pregnant, we had a lot of problems at that time. We had already cheated on each other. And then I met somebody else that was taking care of me. I ended up sleeping with him while I was with Jason.
When you give birth
Yes.
to the child, he was there.
Yes, he was there.
I cut forward. I've been there since day one, taking care of this baby and this woman. Day one, Your Honor, I was there.
One night, during a fight, she shouted that Jason might not be the father. He said it broke him completely, and the tears came fast. My heart cracked when I saw his face.
I think we were in an argument, and out of nowhere she throws at me, "You're probably not even Jason, the daddy of Jason anyway." I crumbled right there, started crying.
I would never
What?
do that.
You told me after this long that I'm not daddy and we're in an argument? What is it? Am I the dad or am I not? How you gonna break my heart like that? I love that little boy, and I know what it's like not having a dad there.
Jason's close friend took the stand and shared how Megan sent selfish messages, demanding money. She said the relationship got messy the moment they started dating. Every word from that friend felt like a warning I should never ignore.
The minute we started dating, all the problems came. Megan would blow up his phone. She texted him and was like, "Better keep your job, honey, because all I want is your money."
I never,
and she
ever,
was,
ever,
it was
ever
bad.
said
And she
that.
was like, "You know, all I want is your money. All you
I
need
made
to do
my
is go
own
to
money,
work."
honey. And you saw the text.
Megan did not like me from the gate.
Didn't know
I don't
her.
know. I really don't. I never had a run-in with her. I wasn't
How can
nasty
I
towards
not like
her.
somebody
and
I
it was
didn't know?
Megan's new boyfriend spoke with calm and said he never tried to replace the real dad. He talked about caring for Jason, showing up, and helping when needed. Something about the way he spoke stayed with me.
I do things that a father is supposed to do. I never try and take the place of his biological father because I'm not his biological father.
And what is it that you do for the child?
I take care of him when Megan's working. If I have the day off, then of course I'm taking care of him. If he needs to go to an appointment or something, make sure he gets there. It's fun to be around. Of course, he's a 3-year-old. He tests your patience sometimes, but I mean,
I know all about that.
Judge Lake opened the envelope and read the truth. Jason was
When it comes to baby Jason Deggs, Mr. Deggs, you are not the father.
Judge Lake stared at Megan and let her have it. She spoke with fire, saying Megan lied through the entire pregnancy and played with a man's heart. Every word made me want to shout, "Yes, exactly!"
I am disgusted that you would perpetrate this lie on this man during your entire pregnancy up through a delivery room. That wasn't his child. I could tell by the look on your, he was more nervous than you were. Sometimes I have to get up and give what I think, but right now, you sitting up there and you got a cute face, but you got ugly ways.
Jason stood in front of the judge, eyes full of tears, voice shaking. He said Jason was his whole world, and now he didn't know how to let go. That moment is burned in my memory forever.
How am I supposed to say goodbye to him now? I don't know how I'm gonna say goodbye to him. That's all I've ever known to be my child. What am I gonna do now? I live for him. I've been living for him.
Listen. Everything you've done thus far has been the right thing.
That's all I've been trying to do was the right thing for him.
The man yelled that the kids weren't his and walked out the door like it meant nothing. His words cut deep, louder than any fight. My chest tightened the second I realized what he had just said.
A lot of noise in my mom's bedroom. He coming out the room, going to the kitchen saying, "Well, those ain't my kids anyway."
Your mother made a comment that really didn't sit too well with me, and it hurt me. You guys didn't hear the whole comment.
You know I was just mad. You know I was mad.
While playing games with his friends, the brother heard the same thing and sat frozen. Everything in the room stopped when those words hit. That silence felt like it echoed inside me too.
Sitting in the living room playing video games with my friends, I overheard what he said.
So you overheard this as well?
Yes, I did. Me and my friends actually, and I was just sitting there like
We was having a get together. Everybody was at the house.
Their mother, cornered by questions, said she wasn't sure who the real father was. She mentioned a name everyone had whispered for years. That kind of uncertainty left me feeling completely lost.
I don't know who's the father. I just don't know. I don't know.
So explain the different last names. Why my name is Razor, his name is Hunt,
Where I get Hunt
his name is Jacob,
Where I
and
get
your
Hunt
name
from?
is Hammonds.
Where I get Hunt from?
You say his name came from grandma. He been there for everything.
Precious,
I'm getting married in January. He's supposed to walk me down this aisle.
She admitted she had been with Uncle Tommy, the same man they grew up around. The kids started, confused and hurt. That truth twisted my stomach in a way I didn't expect.
Did you have a relationship with Miss Hammonds?
You call this your brother?
Yes, we had a physical relationship. It wasn't a relationship.
You call that your brother?
Miss Hammonds, were you intimate with Mr. Farmer? Is what he's saying true?
That's Uncle Tommy. That's just nasty. That is not my father. No,
There's a possibility I could be your father.
Tommy appeared on video and confirmed the relationship wasn't love, just physical. The room felt colder as the kids tried to make sense of it. It felt like something cracked inside me watching their faces.
Brother.
Y'all say y'all brothers and sisters every day.
That's not my sister. She's not my sister.
Well, we
We're
established
not
that
related.
you all refer to each other possibly as brother and sister, like play brother. You're not related biologically. You're not real sister and brother.
The judge read the results. Tommy was not the father. Precious screamed with relief and dropped into her seat. That moment hit like sunlight after days of darkness.
As it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Razor, you are not her father.
Oh my God!
The joy vanished when the next result said Mr. Jacobs wasn't her father either. Precious broke down, shaking with sobs as the truth landed hard. I could barely watch her fall apart like that.
As it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Razor, Mr. Jacobs, you are not her father.
The test showed Mr. Jacobs was...
Mr. Jacobs, you are not Hector's father.
What
Because
she
that
does-
baby is not my son.
Here's the thing that she
It
does.
is.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
sorry. That's a lie.
Yes, it
That's
is.
a lie.
First of all, she's a liar because you just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last week.
Hello.
ma'am. Yes,
That
you
is
did.
not
Yes,
true.
you did. Yes, you
There's
did.
some hoes in this
That
house.
is not
There's
yes,
some
you
hoes.
did. Why is your neighbors complaining about the sex that goes on in your household?
There was no sex going on.
This psycho grandma didn't just show up. She exploded in, suing for $1,000 because baby Elijah's too white. Is this a courtroom or a Klan rally with better lighting?
Ms. McBirth, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove your son, Kakitho Hughes, is not father of Miss Jackson's 2-year-old son, Elijah Jackson. You're suing Miss Jackson for $1,000 for defamation of character because you claim she posted comments on social media claiming you and your family are deadbeats.
Not holding back 1 ounce of venom, Grandma McBirth unleashes her unholy trinity of insults for Ms. Jackson. Trash, trouble, and trifler. Can a human being even survive such legendary, soul-crushing shade?
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. She, as a matter of fact, I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son, any member of my family.
Her evidence, you ask with bated breath? Baby Elijah is white as snow, with absolutely zero chocolate detected by her expert, red, delusional eye. Is this woman a geneticist or just spectacularly, undeniably racist?
And you say the child looks nothing like your son.
That baby white as snow. There's no way that could be my grandchild or my son's baby. He has no features like none of us. Nobody in my family look like that.
Maybe because he is so white?
Because he all the white. He ain't got no black in here. Everything I see got powder puff on it. I don't see no chocolate nowhere, okay?
No, ma'am.
Then Auntie Terrell, not to be outdone in the crazy department, swoops in like a rabid vulture, calling Ms. Jackson a vampire and a mere snack cake. Will the judge just order a psych eval for this whole damn train wreck family already?
This DNA right here has been in our life. She's never was a girlfriend. You are a vampire. You are just a fly-by-night. We didn't know anything about you. He's been in a relationship for 10 years.
In 10 years, baby.
He's been
by
in a relationship
another
for 2
woman,
years,
and
for 10
those
years.
are my grandchildren.
All she basically was for him was a snack cake on the side of his meal.
As if that wasn't enough, Auntie then accuses Ms. Jackson of a police-busted wild nyan party complete with a live tone-deaf "Ho in this house" serenade. Is this paternity court or Mardi Gras gone horribly wrong?
She's a liar because you just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last week.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
That
you
is
did.
not
Yes,
true.
you did.
Some hoes in this house.
Why is your neighbors complaining about the sex that goes on in your household?
There was no sex going on.
In a moment of hypocrisy so staggering it could win awards, Grandma actually admits her own son's a trifling disaster too, but shrugs it off because he's my son. Will her blatant, infuriating nonsense finally make Judge Lake's head literally explode?
Miss McBirth, I have to ask you, you're very tough on Miss Jackson. Do you have anything to say about your son's behavior?
My son I know exactly what type of person he is. He just as trifling as she is. He's a handsome guy. He's my son, and I know what he do.
Just seeing a photo of her precious son kissing baby Elijah makes Grandma gag, literally wanting to throw up. Can her delicate stomach or her paper-thin case actually handle the truth bomb that's about to detonate?
When you look at this picture,
it makes me want to throw up.
It seems like your son is kissing the baby. It makes you want to throw
It makes me
up.
want to throw up. because it's a
Why?
lie.
For your son to be kissing an innocent child?
Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really, if he's showing the child love.
Plot twist supreme. Alleged dad. Mr. Hughes, bless his quiet heart, calmly reveals he's biracial because his own father is white. Has grandma's entire racist, hate-fueled charade just spectacularly collapsed in on itself?
Do you believe you are Elijah's father?
I just gave him the benefit of the doubt because I'm biracial. My father's white. So
That child is not my son.
But wait, there's more science. Now it's Nosebridgegate. Grandma fanatically swears her grandbabies are uniquely, genetically bridgeless, but Elijah dares to possess one. Is this her smoking gun, or just peak, certifiable delusion?
You don't look like nobody
all
I know.
my grandbabies don't have a bridge on their nose. That little boy got a bridge. Grandchildren all look alike. Every last one.
All his kids.
We're looking at the bridge of the nose.
Right.
And you're saying none of those match.
None of those
He
match.
has all of his
He doesn't
children
look
look alike.
nothing like my son.
All of his kids, they look.
Little Elijah apparently calls other men daddy? Mom hilariously and desperately blames this phenomenon on tall, light-skinned guys with hats. Is this baby just easily bamboozled by headwear? Or is there a secret daddy army lurking?
Okay, I heard her, it was about a month ago. I was coming home from work and I heard her tell another guy who was out in the parking lot. She told him, she said, Cash, come on with daddy. Come with daddy. She called.
I've heard him call other dudes daddy, though.
Woo!
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
She makes it hard on herself, basically, because she throws a lot of doubts in the situation.
Were you having your son Elijah call someone else daddy?
No, ma'am.
The moment of truth for two white baby Elijah is finally here. After all the Nosebridge nonsense and racist color charts, will Grandma's bonkers theories be utterly annihilated by cold, hard, unforgiving science?
And whether Mr. Hughes is the father, Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
Did she even tell you she was going into labor?
She called me that day and told me, and I told her I'll come up there in a little bit, okay? Well, my family went up there. I called her back, said, hey, I'm on my way. She told me not to bother.
Mr. Wheat passionately claims he's been robbed as a father to 19-year-old Sierra. But her mom, Ms. Greider, coldly states facts are facts, and he isn't her dad.
You filed your case because you claim you've been robbed as a father. You are desperate to prove to the defendant that you fathered her 19-year-old daughter. You want to make up for lost time. Ms. Greider, you say, as much as you would like plaintiff to be your daughter's biological father, facts are facts, and he isn't her dad.
Ms. Greider's legendary explanation for this paternity chaos. I was 19. I was young, dumb, and full of eggs, and I was doing me.
Because I was 19, I was young, dumb, and full of eggs, and I was doing me.
Young, dumb, and full of eggs, and doing me. I don't think I've ever heard it explained like that.
The bombshell truth. Ms. Greider confesses she was sleeping with 4 different men when Sierra was conceived. Mr. Wheat was just a one-night stand from Texas Nightlife Club.
So how many guys were you with during the window of time your daughter was conceived?
4.
And Mr. Wheat is one of them?
Yes. One of them was my boyfriend. He was living with me at the time, and he went away. Mac had moved in with me. I met him through a mutual friend of all of ours. Yes, we were sleeping together. And then I had went out to Texas Nightlife, had a one-night stand with him at that time.
In an act of baffling oversharing, she actually told all 4 men they could possibly be the father. This poor girl never stood a chance of a simple answer.
Who was with you when she was born?
Mac Greider.
Ah, now I get it. Man you were with went through the process with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Greider, who signs the birth certificate? Does anybody sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor. Mac Greider did. And it's been on and off drama for 19 years.
But poor Mr. Wheat tried to visit baby Sierra at the hospital, only for Ms. Greider to cruelly tell him not to bother coming. Talk about being shut out.
Did she even tell you she was going into labor?
She called me that day and told me, and I told her I'll come up there in a little bit. My family went up there. I called her back, said, hey, I'm on my way. She told me not to bother.
Surprise guest, potential dad. Number 2, Mr. Mac Greider, the ex-husband who signed the birth certificate and named Sierra after their beloved Chevy truck, is in court.
Mac Greider is here, and he believes he could be Sierra's father.
Yes, ma'am. I was there, went to the doctor appointment. I named her. I signed the birth certificate.
Sierra was born. You were there.
Yes, ma'am. I was in the doctor.
Signed the birth certificate.
Yes, ma'am.
You named her.
Yes, ma'am. After a Chevy truck.
Sierra, now 19 and in tears, just desperately wants to know who her real dad is after a lifetime of her mom's confusing possibilities.
Upset that I never knew who my real dad was.
And when you say you never knew?
Never.
You were always told that it was uncertain?
I've had a father figure throughout the years, and he's watched me grow up, and she kept on telling me that these could be the possibilities, and I just had to live with it until today. I'm trying to figure out who my dad is.
The first DNA results are in for Mr. Grider, the man who raised Sierra. Is he her biological father, or is this just the dramatic start of eliminating the 4 contenders?
The first result is for Mr. Grider. When it comes to 19-year-old Sierra Sloan, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Grider, you are not the father.
Now for Mr. Wheat, the man who's felt robbed for 19 years. After Mr. Grider was ruled out, are his decades of hope about to finally come true for Sierra?
And I saw you, Mr. Wheat, because once I said Mr. Grider was not the biological father, the weight even became heavier for you that, well, if he's not, that's even more probability that I could be. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Wheat, you are not the father.
But my mom, however, had told me on more than one occasion that she had DNA done between me and Mr. Seaton. She also told my grandmother, Karen, and when asked about the result, I contacted our local DNA centers and did some research, and they have no DNA on file.
Ms. Jessica Seaton hauls her own mother, Ms. McPeak, into court, screaming paternity fraud after a 30-year lie about her real dad.
You've brought your mother to court because you claim she committed paternity fraud and lied to you about the identity of your biological father. You were raised believing one man was your father, but are here to prove another is your dad. You've petitioned the court for a paternity test to finally prove the truth.
Mother McPeak ain't having it, viciously calling her estranged daughter Jessica a very cold-hearted person who just doesn't care who she hurts.
My daughter doesn't care who she hurts at all. She's a very cold-hearted person, and she just does not care who she hurts.
The bombshell that cracked this 30-year secret wide open. Jessica needed an emergency blood transfusion, and her presumed family, via dad Jesse Seaton, were not a match.
Back in 2011, I had complications and I needed a blood transfusion. My mom was supposed to make it to the hospital. She never showed up, whatever the reason was. So my grandmother and my Uncle Paul had both donated blood for the blood transfusion, and it came out they were not. Either one of them wasn't a match. So they couldn't give me the blood.
Grandma Karen's ghost-written truth bomb. Okay, a letter. Her late son Jesse wasn't Jessica's dad. Mom Teresa was shacking up with Greg Bryson while pregnant.
It reads, I know my late son Jesse Seaton is not Jessica's father. Everyone in town knows that Teresa was with Greg while she was pregnant. I don't know why Teresa keeps denying it, which is Greg. When my son Jesse started dating Teresa, she was by Greg. My hopes for Jessica are that she will finally know the truth.
Jessica tearfully describes how the man who lovingly raised her, Jesse Seaton, tragically died believing she was his only precious daughter, a pain that still haunts her.
Jesse died when I was about 7.5, but from what I can remember, he was the perfect man, perfect dad. What hurts me the most is that this man died thinking that I was his only daughter. That right there alone hurts more than, the fact that I'm about to get results on whether or not Mr. Brighton or Mr. Seaton.
The lies keep piling up. Jessica accuses her mom of also faking a DNA test result years ago between her and Jesse Seaton. Did this woman ever tell the truth?
But my mom, however, had told me on more than one occasion that she had DNA done between me and Mr. Seaton. She also told my grandmother, Karen, and when asked about the results, I contacted our local DNA centers and did some research, and they have no DNA on file.
Mr. Bryson then drops a stunner. Years ago, McPeak kicked him out for Jesse Seaton, only to crawl back to him later, allegedly confessing, "This child I'm carrying, it belongs to you."
Even though Jesse Seaton's on the birth certificate, I can guarantee you I'm the girl's father because she knows it. I come home from work, middle of Thanksgiving, there was all my stuff sitting outside. It's snowing. I'd already paid the bills, and people across the street let me move in. She had come over several times and told me to my face, I am sorry that I made a mistake, did what I did to Jesse. This child I'm carrying belongs to you.
But wait, there's more. Bryson accuses Ms. McPeak of juggling 4 men back in the day, needing multiple men for multiple things. this just gets messier.
Did you think you were the only one she was having?
Oh, no, Your Honor. There were several other men she had been with. I found this out later on. But, you know, it's,
How many men did you find out she was with?
4. But, you know, it's the kind of thing, without being rude to anybody and anybody taking anything offensively, there are those people that need multiple men for multiple things.
Judge Lake holds the envelope that will rewrite Jessica's entire identity. Is her biological father her beloved late dad, Jesse Seaton, or the absolutely certain Mr. Bryson?
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Bryson.
Thank you.
I got married, which I shouldn't have. Just understand me, I'm sorry. I don't see you or get to talk to you, but I have to be miserable, no Kadeem. Then you write back, Mr. Ward, when I'm done with this, you can have all my time and you can have it now. I just want to get this divorce and be done with her.
Ms. Norville drags Mr. Ward and his brand new wife, of just 2 weeks, to court for baby Jacqueline, blaming the wife for his sudden paternity denial.
Ms. Norville, you summoned the defendant and his wife to court to prove that he fathered your 7-month-old daughter, Jacqueline. You say his denial stems from his immature wife, and you're here to set them straight.
Because prior to him marrying the defendant, the person he's known that he knew for 2 weeks, he never denied it.
She came with receipts. Norville dramatically reveals texts from Ward sent last night from his hotel with his wife, whining, "I got married, which I shouldn't have. I'm sorry."
He just texted me last night. But that's Mrs. Ward. You understand what I mean? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get married.
Do you have in your hand?
The text message from him last night while he was in the hotel room with his wife.
The texts get even juicier. Ward allegedly told Norville, "When I'm done with this marriage, you can have all my time. I just want to get this divorce."
I got married, which I shouldn't have. Just understand me, I'm sorry. So that means what? I don't see you or get to talk to you, but I have to be miserable, no Kadeem. Then you write back, Mr. Ward, when I'm done with this, you can have all my time and you can have it now. I just want to get this divorce and be done with her.
Plot twist upon plot twist. Ms. Norville admits she kicked Ward out while pregnant with Jacqueline because her other EX needed me. This web is tangled.
We moved into an apartment together. Not even a week later, she's kicking me out, telling me she cheated on me. So it's like...
Honestly, I pushed him away because my ex, he needed me. And I felt obligated.
And if that wasn't enough, Ms. Norville drops another bombshell. She's pregnant again by Mr. Ward right now, while he's freshly married to another woman.
Because he was married and I didn't want to deal with it.
What do that have to do with my child?
Honestly, he was married. I'm just over it. And I'm pregnant now. I'm just over it. I'm over him. He's a liar.
Pregnant by Mr. Ward?
I didn't want to do that. And I'm pregnant now.
Surprise star witness, Kadeem's own mother, Carmelita Wilson, marches in, testifying for Ms. Norville and boldly declaring Jacqueline is her granddaughter.
State your name for the record.
My name is Carmelita Wilson.
Hi, Ms. Wilson. And you are what relationship to?
I'm Kadeem's mother.
And yet you are standing next to Ms. Norville.
Yes, I am.
All right. Can you please tell the court why you're choosing to testify on the side that is opposing your son?
Because Jacqueline, that's my granddaughter.
Then Grandma Wilson unleashes a mega bomb about her new daughter-in-law. Mr. Ward's new wife allegedly cheated for 7 months of their barely year-long marriage.
For my son to deny her because he say she cheated. Well, his wife cheated for 7 months. They only been married a year. So basically she cheated through the whole marriage.
Mr. Ward sheepishly admits he also doubted his wife's baby, Kadeem Jr., because her affair text went all the way back to January, when that baby was conceived.
So I was at work, someone was telling me something, because you know when you love somebody, you know if somebody doing wrong, you can feel it. Go home, I grabbed the phone, went through it. What do you know? I seen a message right there, boom, right in my face. When I seen that, it went all the way back to January. I like, dang, it was a long time, you know what I'm saying, for you to be talking to this person, you know, he pulling up to my house every time I go to work, was cheating on me.
Was cheating.
Hold your breath for this one. Ms. Norville then announces she's not just pregnant again by Mr. Ward, she's pregnant with twins. This man is a baby-making machine.
And she's saying that it's your husband's baby again.
Twins, my
is more evident. Oh,
twins, baby.
Oh,
ready.
You
Yes,
said
ma'am.
twins?
Twins.
Yes, ma'am.
The DNA results for baby Jacqueline are finally here. After secret texts, new wives, other babies, and now twins on the way. Is Mr. Ward her father?
It has been determined by this court. Ward, you are the father.
Yes, I knew.
I found out I was pregnant when I moved back when Ian sent me money to come back. And this is his exact words. Oh, I'm gonna send you the money to come back so we could be a happy family and this and that. And
did he know you had had the one night stand with somebody else?
yeah, he knew, because I told him.
18-year-old Ms. Currington swears her 42-year-old ex, Kim Larson, begged her for baby Kawera. They kept trying and trying. Now he denies her.
It makes me feel pissed off, because we planned this baby.
Planned the baby?
Yes, we did.
What was said?
He wanted to have a baby by me, and that was that. And we kept trying and trying.
His explosive defense? He's got a new girlfriend and claims Currington is a player and unpredictable who plotted this whole baby situation to trap him.
Yes, because I'm in another relationship.
Mr. Kim Larson, you deny this baby. You say this baby's not yours.
Yes, Honor. I can explain that to you. She's a player. She's unpredictable. She played a game with my emotion. She plotted.
The great no protection debate. She screeches he don't believe in condoms. He fires back that she swore she was on birth control. Who's telling the truth here?
Were you using protection?
No.
Then you were planning to have a baby.
Your Honor.
No, you told me.
He said he don't believe in condoms.
But you told me you was on birth control.
Oh.
Yes.
Enter Kim Larson's disapproving daughter, who viciously calls Currington a predator who took advantage of my dad and be messing around in the streets.
I know these types of women. They prey men like this, like kind-hearted, very openly, and she took advantage of my dad. We don't even know if it's, if that's my dad's baby because she be messing around in the streets. So how are we supposed to know for sure if that's my dad's baby or not? So that's why we here.
Their sketchy first encounter. At a hotel, he was desperately searching for his then-girlfriend. Ms. Currington sweetly offered to help him look, secretly hoping he wouldn't find her after spotting his nice car.
I met Ian at the hotel. He came in, he approached me and asked me if I'd seen his girlfriend at that time. And I said no, but I would help you look for her. Yeah, I seen her pull up in that nice car. I'm like, who is that? So to find out he come in here looking for his girlfriend.
Oh, you saw him pull up before he even got in the hotel. Look at him get out his little cute car. And you thought he was handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
He shamelessly admits being instantly attracted to her thickness when she paraded around in booty shorts. She happily admits taking his money and cars because he likes black women.
Oh, he was giving an arrangement out. He was giving out benefits.
Yes.
And you was taking them.
Yes, because he said he liked black women.
Oh, and so you had thought you found yourself a nice little sugar daddy, little older man that was gonna do for you and your son.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to follow along, see how far she go with this.
Within days, she claims, or mere weeks, he says, she had already shacked up in his place, joyriding in his car, while her cousins and maybe an extra boyfriend partied it up.
She moved at my place.
Within 2 weeks.
Because we
I
bonded.
moved at his place 2 days later and drove his car after I met him at the hotel. He had me drive his car. He let me. He was giving it to me like that.
She had her cousins up in there.
Also, my neighbor been calling me saying that she had multiple guys in my house. Whoever, I don't know what to believe.
Plot twist. After their messy breakup, he got evicted. She had a one-night stand in Indiana, only for he himself to send her money to come back and be a happy family.
Between that time when she was pregnant, she was with this guy pretty much through the whole term.
And I'm still is.
Yeah,
getting
she
married
still
too,
is.
September 1st. And he's been taking care of her throughout this whole journey. I found out I was pregnant when I moved back when Ian sent me money to come back. And this is his exact words. Oh, I'm gonna send you the money to come back so we could be a happy family and this and that. And he knew, because I told him.
Kim Larson actually got himself kicked out of the hospital during Kawira's birth for throwing a tantrum because Currington was on the phone with her new fiancé.
Did you also allow him to sign the birth certificate?
He didn't want to. So he started cussing me out because I was on the phone with the person I'm with now.
No, I was at the hospital.
He got kicked out the hospital. The security guards kicked him out and had to move me to another room because why are you on the phone with him and this is our time and this and that.
You got kicked out the hospital, Mr. Larson?
Yes, he did.
Judge Lake holds the envelope that will change everything. Is the thickness-loving, condom-hating older man Kawira's father, or was this just a very expensive, messy fling?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kim Larson, you are the father.
Dad.
do you remember Mr. Johnson moving away?
No.
So when he's saying he was gone from April 17th until when Jace was born, that's not true?
No, it's not.
What is your testimony?
It's not at all because we had sex on his birthday.
And when is that?
April 30th.
Impossible.
And we had sex every day after that, and the last day we had sex was May 10th.
Ms. Wilson is a wreck, tearfully stating Mr. Johnson, father of her 4-year-old Jace, has done nothing for him, abandoning her since day one.
I've had my son for 4 years doing it all by myself since day one. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's hard to look at him.
Take your time. I know it's difficult. You've had him by yourself. No help. He's 4.
I have been struggling.
Mr. Johnson's ice-cold defense? He's 100% certain he's not Jace's dad because Ms. Wilson was still totally hung up on her ex when they first hooked up.
Mr. Johnson, you say you know 100% you're not the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have not done anything to help Ms. Wilson raise Jace?
No, Your Honor. Okay, first of all, when I got with Quadonna, she was dealing with her ex still, and he was still in the picture.
No, I wasn't.
So
the Missouri alibi bombshell. Johnson swears he was living in a whole other state when Jace was conceived, even presenting a calendar claiming a 10+ month pregnancy if it's his.
Why? Because, Your Honor, as I stated before, she was still involved with her ex. He was still in the picture. My son clearly looks like her ex. I contracted my story from my calculations. I was not even there when he was conceived.
Yes, he was.
Impossible.
You're saying you weren't even there when the baby was conceived?
No, it was not. I was living in Missouri.
Her fiery counterattack. Wilson insists he never moved away, and little Jace was actually conceived during a steamy week of unprotected encounters right around his birthday.
Miss Wilson, do you remember Mr. Johnson moving away?
No.
So when he's saying he was gone from April 17th until when Jace was born, that's not true?
No, it's not.
What is your testimony?
It's not at all because we had sex on his birthday.
And when is that?
April 30th.
Impossible.
And we had sex every day after that, and the last day we had sex was May 10th.
Were they baby planning or not? She tearfully claims they were actively trying for a baby and even planning marriage. He flatly denies any such romantic notions ever happened.
Before then, we had been trying to have a baby. December of 2012, he spent Christmas with his other kids at my house. During that time, when I finally moved into my apartment, which was March 1st of 2013, and he was there with me. We were doing it all the time because we planned on having a son. We was talking about getting married. I was like, well, I don't want to get married until we have the baby because I want to lose weight and fit in my dress.
She claims that after she joyfully announced the pregnancy, he completely ghosted her for 2 years. He retorts that she actually told him to get lost after a huge argument.
Just disappear, and I hadn't seen him no more after June 4th for 2 years.
So once you tell him you're pregnant, he never shows back up?
Nope.
No.
You didn't even want to see the baby?
No, Your Honor. I stopped communication with her because she told me she didn't want me to have it. We got into it
That
over the
is a
phone.
lie. No.
And she told me on the phone,
No.
well, since this is not working, then you don't have to be in our life at all like that, you know, getting all loud with me. So I hung up on her. That's what I do.
The dramatic laundromat showdown. Johnson says the first time he ever saw 2-year-old Jace was at a laundromat, only to see the boy allegedly run to Wilson's EX yelling, "Daddy, Daddy."
My mom was talking to me, and you know how some mothers are, they put pressure on sons like, well, son, he looking.
They tell you to do the right thing.
At this point, I'm going to meet her at the laundromat with the child. I took the child to my cousin's house, so she was like, well, he does look like you, cuz, you know, she's older. So, and as I proceeded to take him back to the laundromat, I pulled up. I'm not even there 10 minutes. Here comes the ex.
Mr. Johnson then accuses Wilson of spending suspicious, long hours, burning DVDs at her ex's house multiple times a week right before Jace's conception.
Actually, I'm glad you asked me that. She would go visit her ex 2 to 3 times a week, and spend long hours over there. But as she quote unquote says, we're burning DVDs. Now, if you're leaving our house at 12 o'clock, you come back at 8, come on now. Y'all burning more than DVDs.
Judge Lake holds that fateful envelope. Is Mr. Johnson's ironclad Missouri alibi actually legit, or is he about to become a very reluctant and very late father to Jace?
It has been determined by this court. Are the father.
What's up, Pat?
I can tell you how big his winker is. It's pretty small. No, it's not. I could tell you plenty of times. It's about I've known him for 7 years. It's about that big. Definitely not. And don't you dare tell Sam about his penis.
Every single time I turn around, it's another female texting my phone like, oh, I just dating your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend. That's our boyfriend. Like, what you mean?
Wait, what?
Boyfriend.
Our boyfriend?
The fact that you can allow another female to talk to me in that way. You know what I'm saying? And I ask him about it over and over again. What are you talking about? You're delusional. You don't even know anything.
Jaylon just flipped out and told Dajaniqua to come get the baby, saying he wanted a DNA test. She was like, huh? They were chill. Then boom, he's not claiming the kid.
My son was over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him until I get a blood test. And I have here some evidence too.
What kind of evidence?
A message.
So wait, out of the blue, you all are co-parenting this little boy. How old is Jaden?
2.
2 years old, you're co-parenting him. Out of the blue, he said, come get your son?
Yes.
Some random girl told Jaylon the baby might not be his. Instead of asking questions, he just believed her. Then he dipped from baby duties like poof.
Actually, a week ago, me and my son was in the house playing around. I went outside. A girl told me she had something to tell me about my baby mother. She said Ms. Johnson told another girl that Jaden wasn't mine. I inboxed Ms. Johnson and told her I don't want him another day.
At that point, you're thinking this is my biological child. I'm spending time with my son.
Jaylon had receipts, a voicemail of Dajaniqua yelling, the kid ain't his. Everyone went quiet like, uh-oh. She said she was mad and didn't mean it.
That's not your baby. You right. That's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy. Somebody else is the take him all the way completely off of your period. No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine. That's my baby.
Whoa. Miss Johnson, is that you?
Yes, it is me.
Now the moms start yelling, saying who really takes care of the baby. It got loud fast, like a family BBQ fight. Judge Lake had to call for order.
He don't have to have receipts. She know we do for
No,
him.
for free. That you don't do nothing.
It don't. I buy him stuff. It doesn't matter. He being taken care of.
Who in your house?
At the end of the day, when he's at my house and Jalen has something to do, Miss Johnson will not come and get him. I text her one time, my daughter texted her and said, can you come and get him? My mama need to go to the hospital. She never showed up.
Jaylon's whole family was there when Jaden was born, all happy. They were sure he was theirs, but now it's all doubts and drama.
Was the whole family there,
Whole family.
Mr. Taylor?
I had to
Mr.
put him
Taylor?
out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember when your son said somebody told me that the baby's not mine?
Actually, I didn't hear that until just recently.
She be a little too busy, so she'll never be at the home.
Too busy to find out the grandchild she thinks is hers is not her biological child?
Jaylon went for a DNA test, but Dajaniqua never showed. She said he never denied the baby before. Judge Lake wasn't buying that excuse.
This paperwork confirms that you did go and submit to the DNA testing.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had it done, but what you're saying is she never showed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you not show up with Jaden, Miss Johnson?
Not intentionally.
But Jaden was about 9 months old when this happened.
Yes.
Dajaniqua said the baby had a heart murmur, like Jaylon. She thought that proved he was the dad. But Judge brought in a doctor real quick.
This is just basically his eczema that he has and a heart murmur, yes.
And a heart murmur.
If you look at...
Just like Mr. Taylor has.
And you believe that these are two medical issues that the child has in common with Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, do you have a heart murmur?
Yes, I do.
The doctor was like, nope, heart murmurs ain't inherited. That whole theory crashed. Everyone looked super confused.
So a heart murmur is really just an abnormal sound in the heart rhythm. Normally you're used to listening to the heart and it goes lub-dub. With a heart murmur, you may have an extra sound or some sounds that are not classic to the normal pattern. There is not a genetic link with heart murmurs. The majority of heart murmurs are innocent heart murmurs, meaning they're just changes in flow. They come on with either a newborn right at birth, or they have, in an adult, they have something to do with...
Yep, they made a baby from a game of truth or dare. Everyone in court was like, what? Even Judge Lake looked shook.
Who I ran away from my mom's house. He knows it. We had played a game of truth or dare one time, which led to us having a baby.
We didn't have sex that day. We had
so what?
sex
But
the
you
next
just
day.
and you already told the conception date and everything. You know this. I don't even know why you sitting up here playing with me.
She ran away to his house?
She actually ran away.
She started crying and said she didn't care anymore. Judge Lake was like, girl, you do not speak for the baby. Jaden still needs his dad.
I don't care. I don't care about this. I'm ready for this to be over with. I don't even care no more.
You don't care if
no,
the child
I don't
knows
care.
his biological father?
He don't need him.
He does.
No,
if
he don't.
If he's his biological father.
No,
baby,
he don't. Or you.
Baby, he needs his father and you need yours. Let me tell you something.
That's right.
The big moment.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are the father.
This case goes nuts real fast. Mr. Webb says he never even did the thing that makes babies. Ms. Cole and her mom are like, yes, you did. Don't lie.
Mr. Webb, you and your girlfriend say there's no chance whatsoever that you fathered the defendant's 6-month-old daughter, Majestic. You say your evidence will shock this courtroom.
Ms. Cole swears the baby happened on April 11th. Webb says, nope, I was just on the couch. They're living in two totally different stories.
I know for a fact the dates line up, and I know he stayed with me for 2 months, and he slept in my bed with me for 1 night, and we had sex April 11th.
What was the nature of your relationship?
We never had sex or anything. We were just friends. We would chill out. That was it.
You were never intimate with her in any way?
I never stayed in her bedroom. I stayed out on the couch.
Webb says the worst thing they did was take a bathroom selfie. He didn't even want to be in it. Ms. Cole posted it anyway like it was a wedding photo.
Your Honor, the worst that we've ever done is take a picture, and she was already in the bathroom. She had called me in there. When I walked in the bathroom, she said cheese and took a picture before I could even say anything. I didn't even want to take that picture. That's how crazy she is. She posted it on Facebook, and when I told her to take it down, she refused to because she's crazy.
Come on, you know dang good and well that me and my husband took care of you the whole time you were there.
Ms. Cole's mom says they fed and helped Webb. Webb says, no way, I was barely there. Everyone yells like it's a family dinner gone wrong.
He's a punk bum. We supplied everything for them. Their food, everything.
I wasn't living there. We were hanging out for a week and a half. Right. And on top of that, April 18th, I had moved back to Detroit. How was I there for 3 months? She had knew about it. We were friends. She trusts me. She knows I'm not like that. I don't do that type of stuff.
I've known him for 7 years, and he's not like that at all.
Webb brings out text screenshots like it's court show and tell. She sent him a baby pic saying it looked like him. He says, girl, that's a 3D blob.
She messaged me saying, hey, I got an ultrasound. I said, okay, can we leave it at that, Tasha? It's not my baby. I'm not trying to. At this point, I'm thinking, I feel like she's trying to say that I'm the baby daddy, but just hinting, not actually saying. What came next? I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean. I just want this to end.
She suddenly says, okay, maybe there was another guy too. Webb just sits back like, told y'all, the twist no one expected.
Did he ever acknowledge that he was the father?
I admitted to my cousin that he was the dad.
Why manufacture all of this?
I think she's obsessed with me. Something.
No.
I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure out
There's
for the
one
last
reason
year.
why I'm here. To know for sure he's the dad, because I did have another partner. It was a month.
Ms. Cole shows a calendar like it's a homework assignment. She marked the exact baby-making day. Webb looks like he wants to disappear.
In red is the date you were intimate with Mr. Webb, on the 11th of April.
Yeah.
The window of conception is in blue.
Yeah.
So that's the week prior to the 11th. And then Majestic was born on the 28th of January, correct?
Yes.
When were you intimate with the other guy?
May 15th, 16th.
How do you get those two mixed up? That's over a month. How are you gonna say that you think it's him and then over a month?
Then she starts talking about his private parts. Everyone cringes hard. His girlfriend jumps in ready to fight.
I can tell you how big his winker is. It's pretty small. No, it's not. I could tell you plenty of times. It's about that big. I've known him for 7 years. It's about that big. Definitely not. And don't you dare tell him about his penis.
I'll work here. More texts come out, and it's messy. She says it's either Webb or a white dude. Even Judge Lake looks like she's tired now.
These are text messages of her telling me that it's either me or the other guy. She's not even sure. It's just until now that she decided that it's for sure 100% me.
No.
But does that text?
Nothing about this is hard. It's not my baby, so just stop, man. This is from you. I hope you find whoever it is. It's you or a white dude. It will be clear when I see her.
They start arguing over the baby's skin color. One says white, one says brown. Judge Lake's face says, seriously, y'all?
That baby don't look nothing like
So you're saying there's absolutely no resemblance?
Absolutely nothing.
That baby's just straight white.
I ain't white, I'm brown.
You're not that brown. Yes, he is. He's Puerto Rican and Indian. Yeah, he's brown.
You see my skin color? Are you blind?
You've seen his body, so you know he
somebody
is
get this
brown.
girl some glasses.
Miss Cole, has she ever said, Mom, really the other guy's the father? Or is she really hoping Mr. Webb is the father?
No.
Tess says,
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Webb, you are not her father.
Oh, yeah. You're crazy. You need to go to a mental hospital.
This story is a hot mess with extra sauce. Mr. Griffin cheated on his wife with her stepsister. Now they're in court because there might be a baby from it.
Mr. Griffin, you were a married man who had a 2-year affair with your wife's stepsister, the defendant. You say that relationship produced a daughter, but Ms. Richmond claims you are not her daughter's biological father.
The lady admits she messed up, big time. Griffin says it was a mistake, but dude, it lasted 2 years. Yeah, that's not a slip. That's a full tumble.
Not thinking, just being wild at that time of my age, and just not caring about anything. I can admit to that. I'm trying to fix it for her now.
I mean, you a married man, and it's bad enough you sleeping around outside the marriage. But your wife's sister?
That was an honest mistake, Your Honor, but at the same...
They hung out a lot because of family visits, which turned into something else. He was married for 10 years and still sneaking around. This ain't family dinner, it's a family soap opera.
Because he was taking me home from when I used to go over to their house to visit my stepsister and stuff.
How long had you been married at the time, Mr. Griffin?
I'm still about 10 years.
So you all had known each other for an extended amount of time. Oh, this is all in the family.
I was in love, so I thought what I thought was love back in that time.
Oh, because you had worked yourself up that you was in love with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
She told him she was pregnant, and he lifted the baby up like it was a lamp, said, maybe mine, and dipped. That was the last serious talk about the baby.
Tell him first before anyone else that he was the father. We slept together more unprotected than I did with the other gentlemen. As I remember, he said yes. He came over to my house and he picked her up and he went up on the stairs and he, put her up to the light and he said, yeah, she could be mine. And that was the last we ever discussed.
That's the last you discussed her paternity?
Tikia says she's seen him once ever, like one time, but he still swears he always believed she was his kid.
That you have not seen Mr. Griffin?
I've seen him one time when I was like 14 in my life. I spoke to him first time on the phone like the other week. I never
That's because I didn't know
talked
what
to
they
him.
was at. 30 years I've been knowing that she's mine.
I did tell him that I was pregnant, but also I did tell him he was the father.
Mom admits she was with 2 other guys too. She told Griffin because he was around the most. But turns out, baby making only takes one time.
And I'm sure he was with other people too, so I was with 2 other guys.
So you were admitting that during the window of conception, you were also sleeping with other men?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell those men you were pregnant as
No,
well?
Your Honor.
Why did you only choose to tell Mr. Griffin?
Mr. Griffin was the one I was with mostly all the time.
Right.
So that's
and so
why
you know it only
assumed
takes
was
once though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Griffin didn't help during pregnancy at all. Mom says she moved on fast and tried hiding it. From her own sister, yikes.
Were you with her all during the pregnancy?
No.
After I got pregnant, we never had too much contact because I got into a relationship
that
with
was
another
you
gentleman. We didn't hardly see each other.
She was trying to hide it from her stepsister.
So, Mr. Griffin, how did you tell your wife that you got her sister pregnant?
I didn't, because I was too embarrassed to tell her I did that.
Tikia grew up not knowing who her dad was. Her cousins said she looked like the Griffins, but her mom was like, nah, not them.
Like the first time someone brought his name up, my mom never brought his name up. And then we went to Albany when I was in the 3rd grade, and my aunt and my cousins say, oh, you look just like the Griffins. And I'm like, who is the Griffin? She's like, oh no, those not your people, that's not your dad.
Yeah,
when people ask me who's my dad, I always said my whole life, I don't have a dad, I don't know my dad.
She got a message on MySpace from a maybe sister. That sister found her name on child support papers. Internet detective level, expert.
Probably when I was like in high school, I got a message on MySpace from Lakeisha. Just a long little thing saying, I think you're my sister. And I'm just like, who is this girl?
So when you first got the message, were you overwhelmed with emotion or did you feel like it was a prank? What were you thinking?
I just thought she was crazy because
her firefighter husband died the day of the family wedding. She didn't go. Now she's wondering if finding her dad would have changed that day.
One of the other sisters, Griffin sisters, her wedding was 21st, 2011. She invited me and my husband believed I looked like some of the other sisters. He was like, yeah, we should go. I don't know. And then I talked to the other people, like my sister and my mom. So we did not go, and that was the day he died.
Aww.
He finally says sorry. Took him 32 years. Judge tells him to own the pain he helped cause.
Well, I'm sorry for your husband, and I wish that I had been there for you. And I'm sorry for not being there for you.
Boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Griffin, you are not her father.
This starts off normal, then boom, baby drama explosion. Judge Lake says it's Reeves v. Silva over baby legend. Jennifer says Kermit's the daddy, but Kermit's like, nah.
Ms. Reeves, you are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son, Legend. Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in support of your sister, who took a DNA test to prove paternity of her child.
Kermit says cheating is fine if you're a dude. But if a girl cheats, fire and brimstone. Then he brings up God, like that helps.
I just don't trust her, Your Honor. I feel like she's tricking me into believing that I'm Legend's father. I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex?
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, cheat, come home to their family. Women can't go out, have sex, and, you know, come home, and especially with a baby, you know, trying to say that I'm his father.
He acts like he's a knight from 1300. Says men conquer, women can't overpower. Judge Lake looks ready to toss a shoe.
Well, Your Honor,
like
God created men to conquer, to overrule. A woman cannot empower men.
What are we on, Game of Thrones? What are we talking about? You said God created men to conquer, and what else?
Conquer, and women
to rule.
Cannot overpower men.
You're ridiculous.
Judge Lake hits him with that mom truth. If you can conquer, why not your jealousy? Kermit's brain goes straight to loading screen.
Why can't you conquer your doubt that she's also doing something that she says she's not doing?
If I'm out here, you know, doing what I'm doing, and she's out, you know, doing whatever she's doing, she's possibly doing the same thing.
And why would that be so wrong? Because you can't take what you dish out? I'm trying to understand.
Kermit says she was texting her ex and hiding it. Jennifer says it was hey texts, nothing juicy, but his face says she lying.
I caught her texting her ex. I caught them texting multiple times. She claims they're just friends. One day, I just decided to try to go in her phone, and she changed her password on me. She was in the bathroom when I was trying to get in there, and I thought I typed it in wrong, so I tried 2-3 more times until it locked me out. Finally, I got out the bathroom. I was like, so you're texting your ex and you changed your password. What you gotta hide?
Jennifer gets a message. We share a boyfriend. Turns out, Kermit's juggling ladies like bowling pins. Jennifer's whole brain blue screened.
Single time I turn around, it's another female texting my phone like, oh, you know, I just dating your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is my boyfriend. That's our boyfriend. Like, what you mean?
Wait,
That's
what?
Boyfriend.
Our boyfriend?
The fact that you can allow another female to talk to me in that way. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him about it over and over again. What are you talking about? You're delusional. You don't even know anything.
Kermit dipped during pregnancy because he doubted it. Showed up at the end and signed like it was homework. No backup, no plan, just vibes.
I did not believe I was the father, and I was not with her during her pregnancy. I was only there to be supportive during the birth. Throughout the whole time, I'm telling her I want a DNA test. In the hospital, none but her family was there. I was by myself. You know, I came in. As soon as Legend was born, the doctor came in the room, straight to me and gave me the paper. I didn't want to make her look bad, so
so you signed the birth certificate?
Yes.
He doubts, but still diapers and playtime. Jennifer loves it, but hates the gossip. Part-time dad, full-time drama.
Now, Legend is 7 months old.
And I've been there.
Since day one.
I got him clothes, everything he needed. I take care of him. I let him meet my family. I just needed this DNA test. That's the only way we could work on our relationship. That's the only way that I could continue loving my son and loving her. Because I do love her, Your Honor.
You dying by that double-edged sword, right?
Jennifer pulls out messages like spicy receipts. Kermit admits he lied just to be messy. Judge Lake calls him out like a boss.
Like, well, I have proof right here. A girl, she messaged me basically saying that, you know, they was talking. He was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just.
So you got a message out of the blue from another woman. And it says, he told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, but and didn't know who the dad was.
Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer cries, says she wants love for her kid. Doesn't want baby Legend thinking he's unwanted. Even Kermit looks a little shook.
I just feel a little hurt because, like, we have a beautiful baby together. And I don't want him to grow up feeling like, oh, my daddy didn't even think that I was his. I don't want him to feel like, you know, we were just being irresponsible. I want him to love me the way that I love my parents. I want him to grow up the same way that I grew up with both of his parents in his life. You know what I mean?
Kermit says baby looks like her ex. Now he's blaming faces and noses. Jennifer's ready to throw hands.
The baby honestly looks more like her than me. How could I tell the baby is mine if he doesn't really even look like me for real?
Look at him. What are you talking about?
Her ex looks just like me. He could be her ex.
It's hard for you to tell because the child looks so much like her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge opens the envelope.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father.
This starts wild real quick. Capel says Harris is her baby daddy and wants him to sign papers in front of his girl. He says nope and denies everything.
Ms. Caples, you say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jasion's biological father, and today he's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend.
Turns out they were never a couple, just hooking up. No protection, no plan, now a baby. Girlfriend's the reason he's saying nope.
To be completely honest, Your Honor, me and Mr. Harris were never in a relationship. Let's clarify that now. We were just
Sleeping together.
Sleeping
That's it.
together. That's
That's
pretty
it.
much it.
No,
I was not, no.
No, I wasn't.
You find out you're pregnant. Obviously, you weren't using protection if there's a question that he's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You tell him, did he immediately deny the baby, or you feel like he's just denying the baby now because of his girlfriend?
You're correct.
Girlfriend walks in ready to spill tea. She says Kapples kept texting her man. Now the girls are low-key beefing in court.
Well, basically, when we started dating, he told me about the situation and was like, I was talking to some girl. I may have a possible baby with her, whatever. As a woman, I just ended up accepting that. We continued to date and we fell in love, have our own family and kids. One day we're out with the kids bowling and she wrote him in, oh, that B and this and that. Basically, it was always her writing every blue moon about me.
Kapples brings a whole calendar to prove her case. Harris says he doesn't remember being there. Judge is doing the math like a pro.
As you can see, my son Jason was born January 9th, 2016. Me and Mr. Harris were intimate for 9 months, all the way up until May. We started talking around September, Mr. Harris. If you go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it'll bring you to April.
He was with her for months and only knew her as Muffin, didn't know her real name at all. Judge's face says it all.
He didn't even know Miss Capel's name. Is that true?
When we contacted Mr. Harris and told him that Ms. Shatera Caples summoned him for a DNA test, he said, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I said, Muffin?
That is correct.
People in town say the baby ain't his. Kapples says she was already pregnant when she met the other guy. Harris is super unsure.
Her best friend, she told me that the kid is not mine. On social media, I was getting messages all over people she knows, people her. She told me not too long ago that she did have sex with one guy. And,
After the fact.
No,
and
after he
she said it was only one time. That's all it takes.
Why would I bring it up, Your Honor, if it was after his time? I was already pregnant, and I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Kapples gives birth. Harris is MIA. Says he was working, didn't even sign the birth paper. She was too mad to care.
Did he get to come to the delivery room?
He didn't have a ride, Your Honor.
I was at the work when she delivered the baby. The next morning, I came up there.
Did?
When I looked at him, he didn't look like me at all.
No, he does
and
not.
I had my doubt. I had been had my doubt, but like I say, everybody around town says that she goes around saying it's another guy's baby.
When you came up to the hospital to see the baby, did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
Kapples says girlfriend was in the hospital room during surgery. Girlfriend says, that's my job. Whole room went silent.
I'm undergoing surgery, getting ready to have my tubes tied.
That is my job.
As a woman, I would not want to be in a room with a woman that's having my boyfriend's baby.
Okay, so you were the patient.
That's a little too much.
But wait a minute, you work at the hospital, and then that was where they told you your station or where you were supposed to be? You were assigned to that?
Today, we got our stuff to do. Yes, ma'am.
Harris says he ain't allowed to see the baby. Kapples says he only texts at 10 p.m. when the baby's asleep. She let his family visit, though.
I did get him the opportunity, but he was always working. So if you're at work, then my baby's at home with her.
That's when he wrote you, though, at nighttime. That's when he wrote you at night.
He
When
was
he got
writing me
off
at
work, he would
nighttime
want to
when
go
my
see
son
him.
o'clock at night. What do you want to come over and watch him sleep?
But that's when he got off. That's the time he
I'll send you a picture
got.
of him if you want to see him sleep.
All right.
Do you want to come over for
Never
me?
was like that.
DNA says
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
didn't sleep with no one else.
this dad came in hot asking if 2 kids were even his. He says mom bounced and left him with the babies. Judge's face said, oh, this is gonna be messy.
Mr. Mitchell, you are petitioning the court for 2 DNA tests to determine if you are the father of your estranged wife's 2 children, 2-year-old Deshaun Jr. and 1-year-old Bishop. You currently have custody of the 2 boys, so the stakes of today's results couldn't be higher.
Yes, Your Honor.
He got teary talking about being left alone with 2 little dudes. He's been doing it solo and just wants to know the truth. Man's heart is full, but his brain's confused.
Over the past few months, Miss Dalton done put me and my kids through a lot. She done left, and between the last 7, 8, 9 months, she done made us struggle. She done walked out on us, Your Honor. What I'm trying to do right now, Your Honor, excuse me, Your Honor, because I get very emotional when it comes to talking about my kids.
He said she handed over the kids and food stamps like a checkout bag. Destiny says that's not true at all. Crowd was like, wait, what now?
What she did is she left with another man. She just came home one day, Your Honor, and just said, here go your kids, take the food stamp card, and just walked out.
That's not what happened.
When she walks out, she leaves you with these 2 children and you don't even know if you're their biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
So you say that isn't true, Ms.
No,
Dalton?
Your Honor, it's not true.
Destiny clapped back, saying she worked 2 jobs while he chilled. She says she did everything while he played around. Judge was just blinking like, y'all serious?
Like I said, from the beginning, I've been doing everything by myself. He wasn't working, pregnant with my first son. I worked 2 jobs to make sure that the household was taken care of. He didn't work, he gambled.
Your Honor,
didn't do anything
Your Honor,
that he was supposed to do
Your
as
Honor,
Let her finish her testimony. I'll
as a
give you a chance
husband,
to respond.
As a husband and as a father, if we were going to work together and do things. And like I said, it was something that I was bearing on me by myself.
He says she vanished for days after fights like a ghost. She says it was just once. He says more like once a week.
Whatever she calls herself doing, I don't know what she does. She have these spurts and these moments where she feels that if we get into an argument, it's okay for her to stay out all night or to stay gone for a week.
That's happened one time when the last altercation that we had when we were gone for the 7 months, that's when that happened. I couldn't deal with it.
He found out she was talking to another guy early on. Dude even called her while they were chilling. He's like, hold up, who this?
I met her off of Facebook, Your Honor. She was already staying with another guy, Your Honor. I didn't know at the time. I happened to end up finding out once we was over my sister's house. You know, some guy calls her phone, Your Honor. It's her cousin. That's what she says. It's my cousin. Well, call your cousin back, because the way she was talking to her demeanor, it seemed funny. And like I said, I'm much older than her. So like I said, I done been there and done that, you know, trying to run these little game on me.
She was flirting at her job, he says. Movie nights and amusement parks with coworkers? Sounds like a date, not a shift.
She was going around with some dude that she worked with. Well, a friend of mine, Your Honor, actually works with her. So he was always saying she's flirtatious towards in particular guy at her job, which she was working at a fast food restaurant. She'd come home and then she'd be like, my job, they're taking us to the movies this weekend or something. Her job. And remind you, it's a fast food restaurant.
He walked in and another guy was sitting on his couch. Destiny made the dude lunch like it was Thanksgiving. Everyone was like, bro?
Your Honor, I came home one day, Your Honor. This guy is sitting on my couch, Your Honor.
On your couch?
And she done made dinner or lunch, whatever you want to call it, for this guy.
Yes, I did.
The new guy in your house where you live with your husband?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And he wasn't my husband at the time. We were, like I said, our relationship was real rock. There was nothing where it was committed.
How much committed do you get more than that? We're staying together. But
what were you doing, though?
Destiny swears both kids are his. Even with the cheating, she's like, yep, 100%. Tears were flowing, but so were the side eyes.
Around the time I could see both of my kids, he was the only person that I slept with.
She just left. When I say didn't give a care in the world, Your Honor, I'm seeing on her Facebook and her Instagram that this other guy that she's been sleeping with, how much she's so in love with him.
Never was I saying I was in love with this guy.
She ain't did nothing.
And Your Honor, I put him through hell and back.
She ain't say nothing about her kids.
DNA says,
it has been determined by this court, Mr. Mitchell, you are Bishop's father.